go. We got UrzZz in the house. We're going to talk about 3v3. Oops, UrzZz over here. What's up, UrzZz?
Hey, guys. How are you?
I was pointing off screen. I'm like, UrzZz over here.
He's somewhere over here.
Oh, man. So 3v3 UrzZz. Now, we got a lot of, I guess, polarization in the community on 3v3. Which side of the fence are you on? Love it? Hate it?
I love it because it's GAC, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So when I came back to the game, I really spent a lot of time trying to relearn 3v3. So this has been a learning experience for me, and I took a copious notes here, Cubs.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to share with some of my notes with you guys.
You got a trusty notebook there. That's very
This
sexy.
is the book of Earth. Book of Earth.
So here's how this is going to work today, guys. We got a top 30 that is split into 2 videos. Now, half of the list I came up with, half of the list UrzZz came up with, and I'm sure you consulted some people you know, I consulted some people I know. There may be some same teams, there may not be. We'll kind of see where the carryover is, but if they show up twice, then you can rest assured it's a good team. You ready to get this started?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, we're going to get this started with a sexy pick. You ready for this? I've got my boy, Poggle the Lesser, lead with Jango Fett. Do you realize, Cubs fam, that Poggle gives 30% offense to his team? Now, this is going to be really great, especially if you have got Jango at Relic 7, which I do, and that 30% offense is going to be phenomenal. And obviously, Droideka, too. He could use a little extra offense boost, I think.
Yes, I've seen this team in action. It can do good work there. Offense up coming in from Poggle. And, you got damage immunity on both Droideka and Jango there. This team does work. You're kind of forced to go after Poggle first, but usually he's pretty quick and gets that buff up real quick. So I have seen this team do work. A lot of people with their Poggle relicked up with those bugs. Yep.
And even if you get him out first and he doesn't get his buffs up, the leadership ability still gives that offensive boost, which is great to see. Next up, we got Mando with Enfys Nest and L3. Now, this team, I'm just going to call this the dick team. This is just miserable, right? You've got Nest, you've got L3, both really annoying takes. And why don't we just throw in damage immunity there so that we can have that health recovery, the damage immunity from Beskar Mando. This is one of those teams where if you bring in the right team, you should be able to get it out of there. But if you underestimate it, if you don't bring in something quite strong enough, it's going to be a very miserable 5 minutes and you're probably going to time out.
Yeah, I think the key there is, you've got a lot of delay built in there with the damage immunity and with L3 getting Mark 3 with L3 is just pretty thick. So the more time you give Nest to just build up and just do her thing, I think you're asking for trouble there.
Literally asking for trouble. Absolutely. All right. Number 3 on my list is Padme. I think this one might make you smile.
Yes.
Now, I'll let you explain this team. This team almost tripped me up against it when I faced you in Grand Arena, but fortunately I talked about it and I found out that Anakin still gets his bonus turn with Dark Trooper.
Yes. So the key here is you want a flimsy Dark Trooper, and he goes out there and he dies a bunch of times, and he gets mad, and I think he attacks 3 or 4 times. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You just got to just not AoE, and a lot of people are not familiar with this team. It's something you don't see casually. So if you're going against some guy that's not slaving to the YouTube or the Twitch, then could trip him up.
This is a knowledge game here. If somebody knows what to expect with this, it might not be an issue for them. So if this is one of those teams where I'd say if you're in the top echelons of Grand Arena competition, all of your opponents probably not going to get fooled by this. But if you're kind of more in the middle ground, you see an opponent, his Grand Arena scores maybe between 300,000, 500,000, somewhere in that range. Those are the kind of people you want to place this against because they take out Dark Trooper once and Anakin's going to come screaming at them. Now, some people may say, well, Cubs, that bonus attack only comes if all allies are Galactic Republic. That actually only applies to the offense boost that comes from that, which is something I learned during my research, because I almost thought that UrzZz placed a terrible team because of that caveat, but it's only for that, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw this team. I'm like, this can't be right. They're like, no, it's right. My coaches there recommended it to me. So yeah.
Now I have to give props to your coach because your coach has become my coach. Go Cubs is now my boy too. I joined his guild and I was asking him for some help prepping this video, and this team came up. He's like, I gave that team to UrzZz, right?
GT8, man, I love him. Yep.
All right, next up we've got Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with Old Daka and Night Sister Zombie. This is another really annoying team. If you don't come in ready for how this team interacts, you're gonna get caught behind Zombie. And you're going to get caught behind a paper zombie because SOKR is going to chew her to pieces. And she's going to become real flimsy. And you're just going to have nothing to do if you have no way to ignore taunt.
Okay. Yeah. So I have not seen this team yet. Again, I'm in a little bit bracket below you. So I'm dealing with people that have 1, maybe 2 Galactic Legends. I'm about to get my first. So this is a team I have not seen yet. Most people keeping their Night Sisters together. So yeah. I'm going to have to rely on you to tell me just how deadly this thing is.
Probably the problem with this team at this point is I think enough people have seen it now that it might not be as, I guess, scary for a lot of people. But if you're kind of in your range, honestly, UrzZz might be the best place for that when people are just starting to see GLs. Might be a nice little treat to throw their way. All right, next up, how about Basilisk with Jedi Master Luke and Wat Tambor? Wat Tambor will immediately give that tank tech to Jedi Master Luke. And if you have your Jedi Master Luke modded for a lot of health, then he's not just going to be super healthy, super tanky, but he's also going to have a ridiculous amount of bonus protection from Basilisk Shan's leadership. This is a dirty timeout team.
Isn't this... Okay, yes, I agree. I've seen this team on my wife's account, actually. But what I wanted to say is this is a prime target for a C solo, isn't it?
For a who solo? Oh, Sith Eternal?
Yep.
I would agree, but here's the thing. Any Jedi Master Luke team is a prime target for Sith Eternal. So if you're going to place Jedi Master Luke on defense, don't do it with Sith Eternal there because it is kind of waiting to happen. But if they do... I'm actually personally, where I'm at, the GL, it seems like a lot of people don't have is Sith Eternal. Because he's just... I just, for whatever reason, don't see him as much. So if you're not seeing Sith Eternal, place that. But that's a good call out because if he is there, yeah, that'll chew this up.
And I think SLKR can do work against that as well, and a solo opportunity as well. So yeah, that is a good team though. If people don't know how to do it, or if they're missing that GL, go ahead and put it down.
All right, next up, we've got JTR with R2D2 and Vet Smuggler Han. I really like surprising people with Veteran Smuggler Han. He's one of those characters that I feel like people just never really expect him to come at them as hard as he does.
Yeah, he's got something special with that. It's AoE ability block, right? Yeah. And he drops that out, and then if he's fast enough and under a raid leadership, he'll be moving just fine.
Yep.
That's tripped me up many times, that AoE ability block. So
and the damage output, he deals good, especially at relics. He deals good damage, dude.
Yeah, he does. It's a sneaky character, that guy right there. He's always been fringe good, and I would say Chewie, veteran Chewie as well, always been fringe kind of interesting. I wouldn't say good, but interesting. And glad that you finally found a spot for him there. That's pretty cool.
I like him in 3v3. I really like him in 3v3. He definitely takes his blue pill before my 3v3 matchups, that's for sure. All right. How about this one? I really like Newt with B1 and Brood Alpha. Keeps that attention off Newt. He's going to get the taxes on you. You're going to have to make a choice. Are you going to evade? Are you going to get in trouble? And meanwhile, B1's coming at you hot and heavy. This is a team that can really trip people up, and if it doesn't trip you up, I rarely see this team not pull out good banner stripping when it's on defense. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to get the full banner score with this team.
Yeah, what I'm gonna say here is he's my next passion project. I'm taking him up to R7. I'm gonna throw some bad characters, some average separatists around him to trip people up. I'm going to jack him up with some speed mods. Newt, an absolute all-star in 3v3. I have my list over here, and I typically set him with Django and Droideka. Again,
I've done that too. That's good.
Yeah. I just think that it's sort of like panic with Newt in 3v3, right? You get a little bit of a extortion on you, and it's just like, well, do I pay that? And by the way, like these guys are under damage immunity right now, so I can't do any damage. So am I hitting Like and he's like stealth. Like, oh man, it's just complicated.
Newt Loki has my favorite kit in the game. It's such a great kit. But one thing I don't love about Newt's kit is I almost feel like the way his kit functions is how we should have Hondo in the game function. I almost feel like it would match somebody like Hondo Onaka a little bit more. All right, next up, we've got Grievous with IG 100 Magna Guard and B2. Kind of basic. I really like B2 in with the Grievous team. Not really a whole lot to say about this. I think it should be pretty obvious why this team is good.
Yeah, I think I prefer to set my B1 with Grievous just to kind of get him going a little bit more with B2. But Magna Guard works as well there. This is an old school team, so really nothing to add about this one.
Yep. Yeah, we'll move right along. Next up, we've got CLS with 3 Baka and C3PO. This team gets going fast. The exposes combined with the blinds, the damage output. If you don't bring in something really strong, this team's going to beat you, and they're going to beat you real fast.
Yeah, I've lost to this one several times. It really takes a top tier team. You're going to be either bringing like some weaker 501st or some weaker, Sith in here to try and deal with this under like a Darth Revan lead or something like that. Do not sleep on how good this team is. A lot of people with all 3 of these characters farmed up, obviously going for like a JML type farm. So yeah, these are good characters. And what's really interesting here is, you're usually thinking about CLS with Han and Chewie. You can move, and we'll talk about this on My Video Cubs. You can move those other 2 characters, Han and Chewie, under like a Lando lead and take out some other teams with that sort of stuff. So just maximizing the use of your rebels here.
I completely agree. I've done that so many times, either Lando lead or Wedge lead. I actually love Wedge lead with Han and Chewie, not just for the health recovery, but Wedge also gives that offensive boost, which is really nice. And a lot of times Wedge is just kind of a stand-in character there. He's not really doing much other than letting Han and Chewie just go ham on the other team so you can beat them before they even get a chance to take your turn. So great call out. We'll talk about that more in your video. All right. There's our boy Rex. We're pulling the curtain back here. 5's lead with Rex and Barriss Offee. This team I'd like to call this team a timeout team as well. The 5's leadership, of course, plus 50 defense for clone allies. All their allies gain half that amount. 501st allies gain protection over time for 2 turns whenever they are critically hit as well. And so that's 2 interactions with whenever you're critically hit. You've got the health recovery from Barriss Zeta, and you've got the protection up from 5's leadership. It's a really good team.
Yeah, I think this is a good team. 5 leadership, a lot of people, they probably don't even know what it does, but yeah, it makes your clones extra thick there. I think what the play here is you're just gonna stall a little bit, get Rexolate online, then do some Rexolates. Yep.
Absolutely. I love a good Rexolate. All right, here we go. First order. Not a whole lot to say about this. I like having the Night Sisters with my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren so I can be free to carve out a couple other First Order teams. I personally like Hux with Sith Trooper and First Order Stormtrooper. And then the next one I really like is Crew with OG Kylo Ren and First Order Executioner. How do you like your First Order? Do you like carving them out that way, or is that how, or would you do it differently?
No, I do it the exact same way you do. I actually don't have First Order on my main account. My wife has it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I do it the exact same way. The stuns here from both Kylos there, along with the big damage from Executioner. Yeah, no complaints with how you have it set up here, man.
All right, your wife really did go hard on First Order.
Who knows? She was better than me at this game.
Yeah, dude, she does good work. All right, next up, we got this team right here, UrzZz. Now, I don't know if you know about this team, but this team has a really cool interaction if you can get your Shaak Ti really fast. If you've got your Shaak Ti up in the 300, higher, mid 300 range, 340, 350, somewhere around there, you almost guarantee that Shaak Ti takes the first turn, and her AI will use the leader ability granted from Luke, which gets Luke an immediate turn, boom, stun, lights out. Shaak Ti runs circles around everyone.
Yeah, and then just to top it all off there, you got Old Ben with a little bit of this little security blanket there, along with his TMR and ability block. But I mean, let's just be real here. You're going to have your Shaak Ti going super fast, do that leadership ability from Luke, and then it's AoE stun, and you're off the races there.
Dude, and I'm glad you called that out because that actually is one of the more underrated interactions in the game. Old Ben with Jedi Knight Luke stun, because you get everyone pinned down, and then Old Ben can keep them in that stun for even longer with that turn meter strip. It's such a douche move by Old Ben.
Sneaky good old kid with Old Ben. He's still relevant.
He's persisting to be relevant. All right, here we go. Next up, we've got Cara Dune with Queel and IG-11. How do you like that?
I use my Cara a little bit differently. We're gonna get there, but before we get there, can we just talk about how great this is? This isn't a conquest video.
Yeah.
Cara, I run Cara. I just gotta say this. I run Cara with 2 leaders resolves at lead. And make her super fast in conquest, and I throw the bombs out against troopers. It's great.
Yeah.
Anyways, this team is Kara's very underrated in this game. I like her a lot. Don't know too much about IG-11 and Quill, so I'll defer to you on this one.
IG-11 Quill basically makes Quill makes IG-11 ridiculously tanky on a level heretofore unknown. It's pretty insane.
So you're running no leader here, though.
Yeah, that's the problem. It is 3v3, and you do, by the way, I would not run this team. You can see the gear on my Cara Dune, not fit for action. But these 3 just work really well together, well enough that I don't think you even need a leadership ability. I think this is one that you might want to check out if you've got these characters high up, and it frees up your Mando so you can be in other areas. All right, number 15, last one on our list. We have got Traya with Scion and a stupid fast Gideon. So let me tell you what is so great about this. If your Gideon is fast enough, which mine is, by the way, I'm going to place this team. Mine's well over 350 speed. I think he's at 355, 354, somewhere around there. He's going to beat most people. He's going to reduce their turn meter instantly. And then Trey is going to get a turn. Boom, isolate starts the battle. Scion is going to apply the pain. And then it's off to the races from there. It is a very tough starting lineup to come through, and 1 out of your 3 characters gonna have a cooldown reduction, gonna be isolated, and they're just gonna have to deal with that very early on.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty sick, and you've got enough offense there with Scion and Trey with the Saber Storm. Like, yeah, man, can we talk about how good Gideon is with that opening turn meter reset? That's just, if you can juice him up fast enough, wow. Another great character, man. We just talked about Cara being able to AoE stun, and then this right here is just fantastic, man.
Yep.
And that move's so valuable in Conquest as well. I know I keep saying Conquest is on my mind, Cups. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, Moff Gideon, I completely agree with you. He's almost, in some ways, he's becoming almost like a new version of Han, I feel like, where Han is just kind of that clutched back of your pocket character where if you need to get a stun off early in the battle, you've got Han. Moff Gideon is kind of the same way. He doesn't get the guaranteed bonus first turn, but if you can get him fast enough, he almost will, unless he's going against Galactic Legends, and it can be a way to just nerf everybody's turns and get off to the start that you need to get off to. So I completely agree. Very, very solid
characters are so valuable that can do that.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for the first half of this list. We got 15 on this list. We got another 15 that we're going to talk about in UrzZz video. Be sure, I'm pointing the wrong way. UrzZz is over here. Be sure to come check out that video. UrzZz, before we jump out of here, link is down below to your video. Anything you want to say to the fam?
No, man, I love this. This was a learning experience for me. I learned some new stuff, and I'm excited to try it out in 3v3.
All right, sounds good. As always, my brothers, don't forget,